Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I thought we'd take a look at the Amstrad NC200 notebook that I picked up at the car boot sale a couple of weeks back. Now, if you remember when I did my quick car boots pickup video, we had a quick look over this thing. And so I remember these things from back in the 90s, not specifically this model, but the slightly earlier models. It started with the NC100, and then there was an NC150, and those were both basically just flat machines with a display up there, keyboard, and they had basic word processing functions on them. This is like the last of the incarnations of them. This was a little bit more advanced, and like I said, I didn't really know anything about this until I actually picked this one up. And I've done a little bit of research on it since I actually did that video, and this thing's kind of cool. It was really kind of nice for what it cost back in the day and what it could actually do. I know in the previous video that it had a disk drive in it. What I didn't realise is it's actually PC compatible. That format's double-sided, double-density 720k DOS formatted discs, so you can basically do work on this, save it to a disk, and load that up in a PC and be able to browse the files. Also, I didn't realise this thing has actually got BBC Basic built into it. It also has some games built into it, which I didn't realise, and I don't think that the earlier versions of it had. And essentially, this was like the last of like the Z80 8-bit computers. It has a Z80 CPU, I think, running at a much greater speed than the old micros that we usually play with. I think it's like 8 to 10 megahertz or something like that the Z80 and this is running at. I believe it has I think it's either 128 or 256k of memory built in. It's possible to expand that to, I think, about 1 megabyte. There's various hacks and things people have done to these things as well. Someone's even got one running something that resembles CP/M. They've called it CP/M-ish, I think. Because essentially the hardware in here, although it's not directly CP/M compatible, it is basically based off kind of like the Amstrad PCW kind of idea, as in it's a Z80 processor, some RAM, some ROM. It's very, very much like a CP/M system. Like I said, and one chap has created a version of CP/M, like I said, it isn't technically CP/M, that does run on these. I believe he's even got it so it can run a hard drive, as in, well, kind of like a virtual hard drive. These things have a PCIe slot on them, and he's basically put a memory card in, and he's using that as a hard drive with this operating system that he'd knocked up. It's just basically what I've been fiddling about with looking at online. Anyway, like I said, when we last looked at this, the one thing we couldn't do at the time was try it, because I didn't have a suitable power supply. And to be totally honest, I still don't have a suitable power supply. I have ordered one, and it is winging its way over from China as we speak. However, what I did find while I was having a rummage down in the cellar was one of these things, if everyone remembers these from the 80s and 90s. And it's basically a universal power supply. You can change the polarity of the plug, you can change the voltage output on it, and we have a various selection of different plugs to try in the actual computer. So I think the only thing is that this is only rated at about 500 milliamps. This is asking for a 1 amp power supply. Now I think that's mostly to do with the disk drive, so I'm pretty sure we could probably power this up with this, and providing we don't attempt to use the disk drive, it should be okay. And then we'll probably do another video on this when I've actually got the correct power supply for it, and we can actually probably test out, see if that disk drive works. But I'm itching to see if this thing will actually power up, because I haven't done a little pre-fiddle or anything. I thought I'd get it on camera. So I've dug this out. This I'm hoping will work it. I have tested this and it is it does actually still function, even though it was out of a box in the cellar. So we'll set it as we look on the bottom of this. Well, thankfully it does tell us we want a centre negative, outer positive, and we want 7.5 volts DC. Now that's, we've selected, that is basically set on 7.5 volts DC there, and the polarity selection is on centre negative, outer positive. So that should set up, should basically work. So I will plug that in. Indeed, the light has come on that, and hopefully, I think that one may well fit the back of this. It's not the best of connections, but I think it might be good enough to get this thing to work. Right, let's have a look. Right, so there we go. The other thing, like I said, this was just so much nicer than the original, like I said, NC100 and the NC150. See if I can just get you a little touch there so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. That's better, isn't it? There we are. Lovely. Right. Apparently this, unlike the other two, at least I think, I know definitely the first one, I'm not sure about the NC150, but this has got a proper nice backlit screen, supposedly. Well, I know that for a fact because I've watched a few other people's YouTube videos on playing about with these things, so I know exactly what to expect. Right, so let's see if it's going to power up. No, let's maybe just getting a bad connection on that back. I was hoping that power supply would have done it. No, oh, that's a bugger. Just bear with me a second, folks. Let me see if I can dig my meter out, and we'll just make sure that power supply is indeed okay. So back in a sec. Okay, chaps. Right, I've tested the voltages, and this is outputting fine. I think I've actually found what the problem is. Basically, the inner diameter of that is too large for the. Even though this connects, it pushes in nice and tight there. The inner pin's too small, so I'm actually going to do a little bit of a cheat. I don't recommend doing this, but it should at least get us so it'll work. A little bit of silver foil there. We could use a component leg or anything for this. Take a little piece of that. We'll drop it down the inside of there like that. Let's just try. Okay, now it's plugged in. Let's see if this is going to work. I mean, that's not going to be the best of connections, but that should at least be making a connection inside now. So, moment of truth. Fingers crossed. Yay! Hang on. Ah, right, okay. Lithium battery is low. Please switch off and replace battery. Right, okay. I had a feeling we may have a flat. Oh, it's just powered itself off. Right, let's have a look here now. Now, from what I've been already watching on the YouTubes, we should have a, I think like a CR2032 or something like that underneath there. So, I'll find something I can release that with. And we do. Okay. Right, seeing I've got the meter out, because I was just testing that power. Let's see what we've got on that battery. let's have a look. Obviously this battery good should be 3 volts, so let's see what this one's showing. Can you see the display there? You can see it now, can't you? Let's go on there, and we'll go on there, and oh, I think I'd call that flat. Yeah. Right, let's see what we've got for a new one. I've got some brand new ones here. I think I've had this one out of the packet, but let's just test it, make sure it is a good one. I'm guessing I've just took it out because I want to try it in something, but right, yeah, let's have a look here. There we go, that's a brand new one. Or close enough, yeah, there we go, 3.3 volts. So let's put that in here. In place there. In fact, I wonder if I should just give the contacts underneath, seeing how long this is sat. Let's just give them contacts underneath a quick clean. Because they just kind of look like a coppery, they don't particularly look like they're gold plated or anything. A little bit of IPA there. We'll just give them a quick on that side. No, it's just one little contact there for the other side. There we go. Probably not necessary, but TNE. I'm just trying to remember which one's the new one, which one's the old one. That's the old one, because that says Toshiba on it. Let's put that in there. There we go. That's locked in place. We'll put the little tab back on. Right, okay. Let's try that again. Let's open up, switch on. There we go, it's working. Awesome. Right, so what have we got? Let me get you down a little bit onto that screen so you can see it. Oops. Get you up a little touch. There. That's not too bad, is it? At least you can see, you can basically see everything there. So basically we've got to play the games, press yellow and G. To use the word processor, press yellow and red. To use the spreadsheet, press yellow and white. To use the diary address book, yellow and blue. Right, cool. We've got to play some games, haven't we? Now I believe it's kind of like Tetris-like games this has got on it. So let's press function and G. Yeah, so we've got press red to play blockade, press green to play super blockade, and what seems to have started itself. Right. So how? What? Red, green, blue. Oh, right. So those are our arrow keys. So that's fast. It's kind of like Tetris, but not Tetris, if you know what I mean. And that's really I wasn't expecting audio quite like that coming off it. You see, it's like Tetris but harder, because some of your blocks aren't full blocks, you just have... Oh, this is a bomb, I think. Yeah, it just takes one away. Anyway, let's stop. Right. How do we get back to the main menu? Let's see if there's a... Is there a function stop. Yeah, that takes us back to the main menu. Let's have a quick look at the word processor, because I mean that's what this thing would have been used for more than anything else. So let's to use the word processor, press yellow and red. Start a new document, let's press red. Type a name for your new document. Let's try test. Start typing a new text here. It's actually not bad. It's quite easy to type. I mean, I'm typing at a funny angle here, so it's not easy. I've always actually had it, you know, on like I would type normally. That is not bad at all. And what I will say as well is that text is really, really nice to read. Let me just get you zoomed down a little bit and have a look at this. Because I will say, you know, if you wanted to use something for actually writing, this thing is brilliant. It's really nice and clear, and it doesn't give you the eye strain that I've found a lot of modern laptops and things tend to give you. That's really quite pleasant. Oops, it doesn't like me getting my hand too close to it, but that is really quite pleasant to read. It's kind of reminiscent of some of the really early laptops, but it's not as like blocky and nasty as the CGA graphics that those had on them. The graphics are really nice and crisp actually. I'll get you zoomed back out again. That's actually quite impressive. That's because apparently some people do still like using equipment like this. You have the an actual an author or someone that likes to actually write. Apparently, I don't know why, but apparently some like these older systems. I think I've been told it's because there's less distractions. You know, they can't get distracted away by browsing the web or anything. You know, they just sat on their own with just this and, you know, doing the work. They can type away, and like I said, there's no distractions from it, yet you're still getting it onto something digital. You're still making a digital copy. So that is, I'm really, really pleased with that. Like I said, I was hoping. Shall we try sticking a disc in it? I don't think it's going to work because of the lack of power from that power supply. But let's see if I've got a double density disc in one of these drawers. These might all be high density. Oh no, there's a double density disc. I mean, the disk drive might need repair on it anyway. Let's see, how do we get to a secret menu? Can't see anything that says format a disk on there. No. Control. Or do you get it through like the word pro? No, it just takes you back to there. So how would you save it? Press secret. Ah, there we go. No, that's just giving you things for the actual word processor. Starting, you know, that's just giving you all them things. Print document, list stored documents. You'd think there'd be some way you just get into a menu that would allow you to, you know, like you know, read disk, format disk, or something like that. And can't see anything like that on here. Unless it is under there. And also, how do you get to the BBC Basic as well? Because apparently this thing's meant to have BBC Basic built into it as well, and I haven't quite figured out how you get. No, these are all for using the word processor and some of the built-in stuff. I can't see anything on there that says format disk or disk menu or anything to do with basic either. Let's carry on just exploring then. Oh, password. So you can password protect this thing. Let's get back out of that. I tell you what, I'll just pause the camera and I will see if I can figure out how to get into the floppy menu on this thing, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and actually I've just figured it out, but as I was messing about with other things, I've just found something really cool that I didn't know about on this thing. Anyway, basically to get to the discs, it's function and just F. But as you can hear, reading disk, and it says there is no disk in the drive, press stop to exit. Now, there's a disk in the drive, so I am wondering, does this, if you can hear you hear that? I'm wondering, does this drive use a drive belt and the belt's gone? Because I do know that Amstrad did love their drives with rubber drive belts. So we'll stop that now and we'll get that out. So that's something we are going to have to look at in a upcoming video on this thing. We obviously do have an issue with that floppy disk. But what I just found while I was fiddling about with stuff, what was it I pressed? Let's get back into the main thing. I think F and T was it? S, there we go. NC Notebook serial terminal program. So it looks like it might actually be possible to use this thing as a terminal, which I thought would be super cool. So press menu for terminal options. Yeah, look, configure terminal, send a file, quit out of terminal, receive a file. Let's configure, and it is fully configurable. Look, baud rate, priority, send receive, yeah, page pause, echo, add line feed. This is really cool. I need to get a computer set up, something like my 380Z, something that's, I mean, I could use it. We could use anything. We could use a. I've got a laptop right there. I think that's got serial on it that is running Linux. That'd do. I'm going to play with this. I didn't realise that this thing had like a terminal built into it. I do have another tiny little terminal which I keep meaning to pull out and play about with and do some more things with. But this is super cool. Like I say, I had no idea this thing could also do this. So I actually think so. So if it was Control and S got us into the terminal, Control and Function and S got us into the terminal, Function and F got us to the disk drive. Let's get back out of this and let's try F and B. Yes! BBC Basic NC200 version 3.2, copyright RT Russell 1993. See if I can get you zoomed down a little bit on that. Is that, I can't see, that's not coming out too well on the camera, is it? Let me see if I could perhaps just turn this a little bit. There we go, that's coming out okay. Right, let's try. We've got to try the classic, haven't we? I just love how nice and crisp the text is on this. There we go. Good old BBC Basic, fantastic. Stop. Yeah. Hang on, stop. Have we got a break command or something then? Enter. That just starts it again, so stop. Oh, right, okay. Hit stop twice, that's like escape. And I think we can list it. Yeah, perfect. So we've got BBC Basic, we've got a terminal program, we've got a word processor, spreadsheet, database, some computer games, all in this little nice neat little package. Like I said, this really is an awesome little system. And these, if you think what a laptop cost back in, this came out in 1993, so if you think what a laptop actually cost in 1993, and these were a few £100, you know, I can't remember the exact price of them, but they were affordable compared with, you know, probably £1,000 for a laptop. And for many people, this probably had just about every bit of functionality they would ever need from a portable computing device. So yeah, like I say, I'm super pleased with that. There was definitely going to be a part 2 on this system. Obviously, I'm hoping my proper power supply will arrive. But it looks like we've definitely got some issues with that floppy drive. Like I said, we could hear the motor going in it, but I don't think it was actually spinning the disc. I have a feeling it might have a rubber belt in it, and that has failed, or there's some other issue in there, but we're not actually really going to know that fully until I've got the proper power supply for this, so we can actually, like I said, do some proper decent testing on it. And it needs a damn good clean. It's still filthy from, you know, car boot sale grot and what have you, and probably being in someone's cupboard or under the stairs for 20 years. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for this for now. At least we've shown it definitely does work, and it is kind of super cool. You will be seeing this coming up, like I said, in part 2, and we'll probably clean the case up. Like I said, we'll probably go in there, see if we can sort the disk drive out, and have a good look round the board, see if there's anything else that needs doing for it. And I'm going to research some more of them, like that terminal software and things like that, and actually see if we can get this thing talking to another computer, because it would make a really cool little portable, I need a terminal quick, click, there you've got it. Right, anyway, so we'll leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little video on the Amstrad Notebook NC200. And I will say thanks for watching and goodbye.